Man United will significantly reduce the involvement of manager Erik ten Hag in the club's transfer business if he remains at the club this summer, sources have told Football Insider. It is believed the new Ineos ownership at Old Trafford, under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford, will look to dramatically limit his involvement in deals going forward. Ten Hag will be allowed input in any potential signings, but won't be driving any business if he remains in the post into the 2024-25 campaign. He played a very hands-on role in last summer's window, sparking fears within United Chiefs about the influence of the Dutchman's representative Kees Voss and his sports entertainment group, SEG Agency. SEG had become the go-to agency in negotiating player signings and sales for United before the arrival of Ineos, with the manager's son Nigel working as an analyst for the company. Ex-Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Everton senior scout Brian King told Football Insider last month, 14 January, that United paid $44 million above Inter Milan's original valuation for Andre Onana last summer. Huge money deals for the likes of Antony and Mason Mount have also been called into question by fans and pundits alike. Ineos Chiefs, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir David Brailsford won't allow a repeat, and a well-placed source has now told Football Insider there will be far greater scrutiny of targets and deals in future windows. Ratcliffe and partners are now in full charge of footballing operations at Old Trafford after agreeing to purchase 25% of United in December. They have already moved to appoint ex-Man City chief Omar Barada as the club's new CEO. United and Ten Hag sit sixth in the Premier League this term and have already been knocked out of the Champions League at the group stage. Manchester United have welcomed another surprising name to Erik ten Hag's training after Johnny Evans' summer return. Former Aberdeen goalkeeper Joe Lewis has become the latest surprise name whom Erik ten Hag has invited to first-team training at Manchester United, according to reports. And the veteran shot-stopper could follow Johnny Evans' footsteps in earning a short-term deal this summer if he impresses at Carrington. According to the Manchester Evening News, Lewis linked up with the club to maintain his fitness levels in December and has been sporadically involved in first-team training since. The 36-year-old is without a club, having left Aberdeen in the summer with 1 year left on his contract after losing his first-choice status to Belarus during the 2022-23 season. And it's claimed that he was invited to first-team training following a conversation with one of United's coaches last year when he asked if he could use the facilities at Carrington. Lewis has reportedly been a regular in academy training to keep fit, but has featured amongst the senior players when they have needed extra goalkeepers. He has joined young duo Dermot Mee and Keith Plumlee in doing so as recently as this week as Ten Hag prepares his squad for Sunday's challenging trip to Aston Villa. Gary Neville has expressed his worries about the new generation of stars at Manchester United, saying they may struggle due to a lack of leaders in the dressing room. The former United player, who was part of the famous class of '92, thinks that the current crop of young players like Kobbie Mainoo don't have the same support system he had. Mainoo has been a shining star for United this season, becoming a regular in Erik ten Hag's midfield. He's leading a group of young players including Omari Forson, Willy Kambwala, and Amad Diallo, who are all vying for starting positions despite their tender years. But Neville has raised his concerns about the players' development. It's a massive factor. The dressing room that you come into as a young player and the influence and standard bearers in the dressing room, Neville said on the Stick to Football podcast, brought to you by Sky Bet. These Manchester United lads who have come through in the last 5 to 8 years. If you're a young lad coming through at Liverpool and Manchester City, you've got a good chance. Whereas if you're at United now, you're thinking, who's guiding that dressing room? Former United captain Keane agrees with Neville's views on the current team under Ten Hag. He joined United from Nottingham Forest in 1993 and was instantly impressed by the dressing room atmosphere. "I love the dressing room," he said. "I thought all these players were brilliant professionals, and I looked around and thought what a great group of people. Players like Brian Robson, Ryan Giggs, and Lee Sharp, all amazing professional players. Remember the Cliff, our old training ground in Salford? I'd come in for a big fee at the time, but I was looking around the group, and even the chat and the banter was great. My first preseason, we went to South Africa, and I couldn't believe how brilliant it was and how good the players were. Manchester United fans have given their reaction to the news of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bold plan to potentially build a new stadium. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are reportedly considering building a new state-of-the-art stadium near Old Trafford, with a report from The Telegraph detailing that the new owners want a Wembley of the North. He feels the club needs an absolute state-of-the-art, knock-it-out-of-the-park, wow stadium, the report states. And fans have been giving their reaction to this news. The report states that it could take around 8 years to renovate Old Trafford, which means that a new state-of-the-art stadium may well be more likely. Fans react to stadium news. As mentioned, fans have been giving their reaction to the news, and it seems that there is a division amongst the supporters of the team. One fan on X remarked, "I disagree with the new stadium proposal. Old Trafford is iconic. It needs a revamp, no doubt. But a whole new stadium, no thanks." Another fan bit back at this and said, "Will probably cost as much to revamp Old Trafford as it is to create a new stadium. Best off with a new state-of-the-art stadium." Some were even pleading for Ratcliffe not to move to a new stadium. "Please don't move the stadium. It would be a terrible idea." Others were seemingly excited about the prospect. "Well, I hope this is true and not fake promises. Time to move with the times," another remarked. Another made a rather valid point about the Wembley of the North remark. "Wembley of the North? The match-day experience there isn't something I want replicated at our stadium. Expensive, no atmosphere, surrounded by blocks of flats, and an absolute nightmare to get away from." If reports are true, then Sir Jim Ratcliffe might be serious about taking us back to the summit of football, one rather excited fan said. Ratcliffe and his Ineos colleagues do have to be careful about alienating the fan base with this decision, as it seems that some of the fan base are unsure about this decision. Old Trafford is a brilliant ground that has so much history in its walls, but Ineos' plan would see the Red Devils play their home games at a different ground. The hope will be that, unlike the Glazer family, the 71-year-old canvasses opinions from key stakeholders at the club before making such a big decision like this. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has taken a significant step towards completing his $1.3 billion investment in Manchester United after an extraordinary general meeting between the club's shareholders on Monday.